Yo, what's up? What's up? So today I'm going to be talking about the artist's way. I know it's backwards, but hello, beautiful.
Oh wait, you can see me. Wait, hold on.
Yes, I can absolutely see you. You look stunning.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Okay, so
Okay. See, this is the generational divide. This is the gap between Y and Z and X. But yeah, I was saying we're going to be talking about the artist way today, and basically me and my mom's journey of completing the artist way last year and doing morning pages for a year, and how that's helped our creativity and our creative process. I'm going to invite her again. I don't know what's up with that, but because I don't think she meant to hang up. So let me invite her again. Oh, thank you, Auntie. Thank you. I didn't do anything for my birthday. I just chilled at the house and watched Lego Fortnite. So, I mean, not watched, but I played Lego Fortnite and I watched a movie called Saltburn. I'm not gonna talk about that movie on this live, but my, my babies. Let's see. Let me invite her one more time. Okay. But I guess I'll start explaining what The Artist's Way is. The Artist's Way is a book written by Julia Cameron. It's a bestseller. Um, and basically, it's a 12-week course that you take. And um, basically, it's a 12-week course, but it's also more than just a course. It's kind of like a guideline on how to recover your artistic self and your inner child. And it comes with a couple of weekly and daily processes. So the artist date is one, and that's weekly. And that's a time you take for yourself and for your inner child. And then there's the process of morning pages, which me and my mom have been doing for a year now. So every day you wake up, go straight to the pages. It says she's unable to join. That's so weird. Okay, cool. She requested. Thank you. Oh, the happy birthday messages are really nice. Thank you.
it's about time.
Yeah, I don't know. But listen, we're getting to a point where we're realizing that stepping away from perfectionistic tendencies is like really important in both of our artistic processes. So I'm happy that we're just rolling with the punches, and that's very much what this live is going to be. Is basically just a discussion about our growth and the things we've learned through taking this 12-week course, which includes the artist dates and the daily morning pages, which we'll probably talk the most about because that's the everyday process. The book ends in 12 weeks and you can walk away from it, but the morning pages is every day, it's daily. So, I just explained pretty much what the artist way is and my opinion on it. But mom, if you want to talk about what you think about the artist way, what it is in summary, and how you feel about it really quickly before we go into our year of it.
Well, for those who are not familiar with the artist way, I think you kind of encapsulated and summarized it really well. It's a book by Julian Cameron, who, by the way, I just realized not too long ago, was married to Martin
Like,
Scorsese, and
I didn't know that either.
and and so like when she was going through a horrible period in her life, and so she came up with this particular concept for herself. And really the course, even though it has a book and it has a workbook and all this kind of stuff, it's really like two main things: that's the pages and the artist dates.
Yeah.
And it seems really simplistic, but let me tell you
It's not
niggas.
simplistic. It seems simple. No. Like the most simple things are the most complex oftentimes.
Man. It's just two things, pages and an artist and a weekly artist date. And you think that, hey, but okay, so I know that well, we'll get into that. It was
Yeah, we'll,
challenging.
we'll definitely get into the details, all
Um,
the gritty, gory
so I know
details.
somebody, because I was like hearing it, but my phone was not responding. But somebody wished you a happy birthday. But before we move on any further, I want to like hear on live with everybody who's here, wish my baby a happy birthday because her birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday, baby!
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh, it's just, oh my gosh, just to see you grow, and with each birthday, like, and every year, like, I just grow fonder and fonder of our relationship and who you are as a person, and I just fucking love you. So there.
Um, I'm so excited. I'm really excited for this actually because I don't know if any of y'all know, but for me and my mom, it's been really difficult for us, and especially for me, to consistently put myself out there on social media, to show my
Right.
face. And even in real life, in my real life relationships, it's hard to just, with my extended family and a lot of people we invited to this live even, um, share and be authentic in my expression in the moment. Like I tend towards curation. I tend towards wanting to always appear as my best self. So I intentionally didn't put any makeup on, you know what I mean, for this
And you
live.
look
I
great.
did my facial routine and stuff, but I was like, that's the most I'm doing. I'm not gonna worry about how I appear, which is usually kind of a big thing for me, the image that I'm putting out and how I'm being perceived. So I'm really excited for me and mom to be taking this step because this is showing our growth in the area of really putting our to be done. And we're called to do it. So we need to respect the call, especially if we want to feel fulfilled and aligned. So yeah. So maybe we can go into talking about how we started doing the artist way, how
Yeah,
and why we
I mean,
started.
because I really think it's kind of crazy, but I'm gonna let you tell your part, your version of the story first, and then I'll tell my version of the story of how we came to do it.
Okay. So I remember seeing this in my mom's bedroom. This is actually the Morning Pages journal. It's not the book itself, but I specifically remember seeing this like mountaintop and these storks or cranes or whatever these birds were, and just being really enamored by this illustration, like as a child in the 90s. But I never knew what it was. It was just a book to me. So so I don't know when or why, but on TikTok, it came on my For You page, like The Artist Way. And I was like, oh, The Artist Way. And I think it had been recommended to me before by somebody, but I still, the dots just weren't connecting. Um, so me and mom had a trip together. I don't know if she was staying with me or I came down for LA, but I was really into this new artist named Doechii. I don't know if you guys heard of Doechii. She's an incredible rapper. I think she just finished being on tour with Doja Cat, which is like huge. And she was a little more like up and coming when I discovered her. And I showed a video of hers to mom because mom always kind of recognizes like my music and artistic taste and is always like, just show me something you like show me something you're just fucking with. Like, so I showed Doechii's video to my mom, which is a video for her song Crazy, which I think is an insane, brilliant song. So we watched the video together and we were just like blown away by the artistry of it, by the visuals. Like it was moving. It was really moving to watch this video together. And just as like aesthete, like artistic people just absorbing the imagery and just being completely blown away by this Black woman and her fierceness and her boldness and her creative expression and what she was trying to say. And I think it was like a day or two later, I was on YouTube and saw Doechii did the artist way. She completed the course, and every week she made like a YouTube about it. And I was like, looked it up immediately, saw this, and was like, I've been seeing this image since I was a kid, and immediately was like, Mom, you have this book. We need to do this. We need to do the artist way. Doechii does the artist way. We need to do the artist way. And it was just like all the synchronicities and coincidences, the happy coincidences just coming together and like pulling us both towards doing this course. So mom was pretty much like willing immediately. Like immediately she jumped on and was like, yes, like let's do this. Like I'm already on Amazon. I'm sending you not only the book, but I'm also sending you the morning pages like journal as well. Like let's do it. Let's get into it. Um and that's pretty much it from my side of the story, how I see it. Mom can tell her side of the story, but that was how we got the ball rolling and how we immediately started the 12 weeks back in December of 2022.
Yeah, so for Thanksgiving, that's what it was. I had come down, I think, for Thanksgiving, and my baby took care of me, and I didn't have to cook and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, she showed me this video, and it was just amazing. It was this amazing video, and it really resonated with me. And then when she told me, oh, Doechii did the artist way, I was like, what? Wait, I have that book. I've never fucking cracked it open. Always pulled it down off my shelf. Always said, yeah, I'm gonna get started with the artist way. Never fucking did. Not one time. I think I pulled it down like, oh my God, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 11 times, and never cracked it open, and never actually did it. And maybe I did crack it open and read a little page, but I was like, and I just didn't do it. And like, she says she remembers it from the 90s. That's how long I had the fucking book. That book stayed with me, traveled with me from wherever I moved to for shit, 20 fucking years.
Now 30.
And yeah, 30 now, 30 years. And just, it's just something that I was just gonna always do. But when my baby was like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna download the PDF and and see if I can do this. I was like, no the fuck you not. I have my phone, my book is coming, the book and the workbook, and we started immediately. And that was just so crazy to me to have this book for 20 plus almost 30 years and not crack it open. And the moment my daughter mentions it, it was on and fucking cracking. So I guess the perfect time, we always say things come in the perfect time, the perfect time was when my daughter was ready. So like, I guess, if the universe was like, okay, so you're going to wait until your daughter wants to do this, and then we're going to do the artist way. So that's who you're waiting for. Because I think we both mentioned before, had we had not done it together, and if I had done it by myself, I know for a fact it wouldn't have had the same impact.
Not at all. Not at all.
I don't even
There
know
was
if I would
something
have
really magical
completed it.
about us holding each other accountable in the process and having another partner to constantly bounce back on, reflect with, and yeah, it wouldn't have been the same if I did it by myself. Not at all.
Um, yeah. And what's so crazy is that being able to have my daughter as an accountability partner is something out of this world. Oh my gosh, it's out of this world. So anyway.
So I wanted to say the beginning of the book, or at least in the morning pages, you have a contract you sign, which I think is really interesting because obviously it's not like a legally binding contract or anything, but it helps you kind of archive when exactly you started the journey and archive the fact that it was something you willingly accepted to do. So another way to hold yourself accountable. And I'm going to talk about archiving and keeping notes and having morning pages and things to look back on as mementos of the past in order to help your present. I'll definitely talk about that later, but that was just something I wanted to share. Yeah, so we talked about what the artist way is. We talked about how and why we got into the artist way. So really quickly before we talk about the process, do we want to say a little bit about who the artist way is for and why you feel aligned with what the artist way is presenting?
Well, I mean, I'm not an artist like you're an artist, because you're actually like a musical artist and a graphic artist in that particular sense. But, I definitely consider myself an artist because I fucking create. So, whenever you're creating and honing your craft or whatever, whatever, so then you are an artist. But I really, really, really think the artist way is for anybody who wants to create change in their life. So, whatever it is you're creating, especially if you want to create change, because I know I was a stuck bitch. I was really stuck. And when I like have great ideas, but like no really real follow through, like having ideas and then not even writing them down, taking the time to write them down. And I was like, wait, what's that about? So,
Right.
and in the book, Julia talks about how the artist way is a spiritual tool, and that's really how I used it and how I took it and how I saw it. So, volleyball.
Okay. I think that's a great answer. I think that pretty much covers everything. I would say the artist way, in a quick summary, is for people who identify as artists, people who create any type of artistic or creative thing professionally or who wish to do that. And I also think the artist way is for anyone who has denied themselves the title of artist. It was funny, the first thing you said, I had to cross my arms like this because the first thing you said, I'm not an artist. And it's just like, that's such a shadow artist thing to say. Like
Well,
it's
not an
such
artist
a someone
in
living
the
in,
traditional
yeah.
sense.
I understand. I understand. But I think it's for, I think with art, there's a lot of pressure. A lot of people don't want to call themselves an artist if they haven't produced certain things or haven't produced a certain volume or can't draw, so to speak, like, and I guess I've seen that a lot in my life. People coming up to me while I'm drawing and being like, I wish I could do that. And it's just like, bro, this is like 90% practice. Like, most of this is not just inherent. Like, of course, I've always done it since I was a child, and I do have some sort of inherent talent, but a lot of honing it has just been practice and will. And so yeah, I think it's for people who have also denied themselves the title of artist and who have suppressed their own artistry over the years. I think that's actually who will benefit from it probably the most. So yeah, now we've introduced the artist way. We talked about what it is, how we got into it, who it's for. So now we can just have a dialogue about the process of actually going through this 12-week course and doing the morning pages every day and the artist states. So I guess I'll get to the first question. And then we're just gonna spitball this. So what changes to your daily routine have you noticed the most since completing the 12-week course?
Well, first of all, okay, so I got like some little things. So these, like, I've always been into like journaling, and these are my journals from 2007 to 2020. So this encompasses 2007 from 2020. And just like I was hesitant or reticent to call myself an artist, I was reticent to call myself a writer too. And then even with saying, "Oh yeah, I journal," but I was like, "No, bitch, you really don't," because like from 2007 to 2020, 13 years, this is what you've done in 13 years. And I actually didn't even realize that I had done that much. Nigga, this is all from the past year. So daily routine pages, and I don't even call it journaling because it's a whole different process to me than just like, oh my, because my previous journaling was kind of like just writing about how I felt or writing about what happened, and like specifically kind of like on what happened, and not like how I'm feeling, or not really intentional, um putting things dumping and getting all the gunk out, and then going from there. So that's part of the daily routine with the pages, and I love calling them, the pages, because it's 3 pages. And I think in the book, Julia says by, like, page 1.5, you start realizing a shift in what you're writing about. It's no longer about the bullshit. It's about, clarity starts coming up after that. And that's really what has been going on for the past year. It's like a lot of clarity, and yeah, and with the pages, and getting unstuck, because I'm no longer writing about the same shit every day. I'm always, now I find myself, I'm writing about new shit, new shit, new shit, new shit. Some of the same stuff is still there, but like the shift has been really dramatic for me. So
Yeah, I agree. That's like the biggest change to my daily routine is just immediately waking up and going to the pages. And when I say immediate, it's probably immediate. There's only a few times where I've actually like done a number of things before doing the page. And Julia actually recommends this because she says the sensor inside of your head that basically corrects you when you talks about your dreams, that tells you that things aren't possible, the negativistic kind of voice that just repeats in your head throughout the day is less active within like the first, I think it's like 30 minutes of waking up, or even 20 minutes. It might even be a smaller window than that. So I want to get things out right away. And sometimes my morning pages also double as dream journals. So I want to be able to remember that dream and all the things that happened inside the dream. So journaling right away when I wake up is really kind of imperative to like my personal morning pages process. So that's really changed my routine, because before I would just wake up and get on my phone, and scroll on my phone and be on my phone for an hour. So the first thing that I'm absorbing in my day is like all this, and I don't want to call everything on social media gunk or fodder, but some of it inspires
yeah,
comparisons, some of it inspires doom and freaking out about what's happening in the world. And it's just not your own aura, it's everybody else's energy, which I feel like I'm really sensitive to,
same.
and really moved by. So it's important for me to take the time in the morning to immediately be in my own aura and my own energy, and just do something solely for me, which I think is one of the most important things that the Artist Way has taught me, is just being for myself. So that's the biggest change to my daily routine that I've seen personally from doing the 12-week course. Um,
And you know what? And mine has also shifted, because I was trying to meditate in the morning, and then noticed that I would leave meditation and or forego my meditation. Oh, because I got some shit to do, so I got to get up and I got to go 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 go, because I can't even really sit and think. I mean, well, meditation is not about sitting and thinking, but my mind is just racing, like, on all the shit that I got to do, got to do, got to do. And I've noticed that with doing the pages in the morning, I can it's much easier for me to get in a meditation, even if it's quicker, even if it's just not, the 20-minute meditation, even if it's like only like a 6-minute meditation, or even a fucking 3-minute meditation. And yeah, so I started, well, now I'm meditating before the pages, after the
that's,
pages, and yeah.
listen, yes, yes. So proud of you because of that.
um yeah. So, did you want to go on to the next question, or just talk, or
Yeah, yeah, no, we can go on to the next question. How has your creativity or your creative process been impacted by the Artist Way?
so, um, typically I used to have ideas, and either I wouldn't write them down, or I would write them down, and then that's kind of just like kind of it, and then nothing else. And usually I just never did. I mean, I wrote down some, but not a lot, because I used to get a lot of ideas, and I stopped getting ideas, because if you don't use it, you lose it. Now what I'm noticing is that if I get an idea, then the buffer of time is shrinking before I act on that idea. So I have an idea and then I'm acting on it and I'm bringing it to existence either by making it exist on the page or making it exist in the real life. Just like I had the idea, I was like, "Oh, Khadijah, we should do like a year recap of the Artist Way and here the fuck we are." Before I would have said
Yes.
that shit and it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying shit and it happens. And I'm noticing that the buffer of time is shrinking before I have a thought and an idea and before I'm taking action on it.
Nice. Nice. That's excellent. For me, I think I've noticed in my creative process the way I approach getting a creative project not even done, just the way I even approach the preliminary steps of a creative process are completely different. Before, I just had too much in mind how I would benefit from it, what rewards I would reap, how other people would perceive it, how successful it would be, all those things coming before I even start a sketch, before I even get into the nitty gritty of creating something. I'm thinking about what can this do for me? And now I approach it as how can I be the most authentic? I approach it as like how can I reflect my current circumstance? How is this aligned with me? Is this fulfilling? Like the questions are completely different. And I feel like the energy is different now when I go to start to create a song or when I decide to do a doodle or a drawing or any type of creative project or process. I start thinking more about the authenticity of it and the alignment of it versus is this going to do anything to help my art career because I really need like validation and recognition for this. Is this going to be something people like because I really need views and I really need likes and I really need these things in order to feel like what I'm doing is right. So um, the way that I've measured creative projects in the past isn't the same way that I measure it now. And now the focus is less on relying on metrics to see if what I'm doing is right or wrong. I think in my head, it just completely has just been rephrased for me. And, you know, I also have people in my life who are in my life to thank for that. But definitely, I've seen a huge change after completing the course in how I approach creative projects and the mindset that I have.
I mean, and same here, because before, like in terms of creativity, I'm always comparing and then always like and then when I compare I'll be like, oh well, my stuff is good, maybe, I think so, I don't know. But then, I had such a big issue with not enough. It's not perfect enough, with not enoughness and everything like that. And I've seen that definitely change and diminish a lot. So like my not enoughness was on was on fucking 10. And at least now, it's like a 3 or 4 around this camp. So yes, how I'm even thinking about creativity has changed, and it's more along the lines of like, wow, I have gifts and I have talents and I actually have to fucking use it. And I don't want any regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of my life, I don't want to be like, oh, well, like, damn, I had all of these fucking bright ideas and I never acted on them. And then like feeling really, really bad because I hadn't acted on it. And again, that's another thing that has really changed for me after taking this course and, doing this with you is just taking fucking action on stuff.
Yes.
And even if it's only uh, a little bit of action. How do you eat a fucking elephant? One bite at a time. So even if it's a small bite, it's a small action step. If I'm taking it, then that puts me closer at getting to what I desire. Because not doing shit is not going to get me there. So, and again, somebody, yeah, Jewel said no regrets. Yes, no regrets in this bitch. That's that's kind of crazy and kind of dumb, you know? And a jewel can appreciate this, then having an idea and then seeing somebody else do your fucking idea, you're like, wait a minute.
Talk about hurting. And this is so amazing this is coming up because I was talking about this in my Artist Way process group because I'm doing it a second time around. So I'm in an Artist Way process remote group with people all across the world. And so we go over each week and talk about this. And in week 7, it was talking about how ideas are often in the ether, and so one person can pick up the same idea and so can another person across the world, or sometimes even in your inner circle, which is
Yes,
even more crazy.
yes.
Like someone in your inner circle or someone you know or a friend of a friend has the same idea and they actually execute it, and that feeling kind of like of jealousy or lack or just pain and hurt and
Pain,
regret because you
yes.
didn't act on the idea, but someone else did. So, you don't win any of the shots you don't take. And a lot of this stuff is really stereotypical and cliche when you hear it, but it's so true, and it just has like an absolute truth to it that yeah, if you don't do it, somebody else
Somebody
gonna,
else
because
will. Somebody else will.
the ideas are up there. Like, and don't be afraid because someone else has your own idea, because you're unique as a person. So the way they execute that idea might not be the same. So it might be the same idea, but our own uniqueness and our own soul and our signature being put on it makes it unique, because sometimes the opposite can happen when ideas are just up in the ether and it's like, why execute it, because someone else is going to have the
Yes,
idea
it's already
anyway.
done. Yeah,
It's
but nobody's
already
going to do it like
done. Or
I do it.
so it's good to keep in mind also that you are unique, and the way you execute it is going to be different from how the other person executes it. So yeah, that was a good one. Okay. So the next question I have down here is, what are some takeaways from the course that you value?
Um, okay, so again, it's been a spiritual tool for me. And just like any tool, you use that to sharpen other things and to tune other things. And my focus has been sharpened and tuned. Um, I'm paying more attention to my feelings and how I feel about things, because that was getting in the way. Um, my attention and my awareness has expanded so much through this whole process. The thoughts and the time, I'm managing my thoughts, and I'm managing my time so much better. It's still for shit, but it's so much better now. And I'm saying it's for shit, but not really, because in terms of time, you know, we talk about this all the time, but for those of you who are viewing in, because of the Artist Way, I developed my own practice, just like Julia Cameron developed the Artist Way to help herself, and it actually helped other people. I developed a whole fucking curriculum for myself where I really use my time better. 20% of my waking hours is 3 hours and 12 minutes. And I am in introspection, meditation, breathing, feeling, imagining, all of that for 3 hours and 12 minutes a day. Have I gotten up to a whole 3 hours and 12 minutes? No, but I bitch be getting damn close, like 2 hours. 2 hours a day that I've noticed. Yes, I've meditated. I've turned within. I have been grateful. I've gone on a gratitude walk. I've imagined some new shit, because before I could not imagine. It was a dark abyss. It was a Black Mirror blank screen. Now I can actually imagine and visualize shit and see stuff. So, and I'm scared of some of the shit I see, because I'm like, it's big. Oh, bitch, you got big ideas. Okay. Um, and I feel so, and there's just a feeling of clarity and so much energy in terms of being able to, no fuck, just energy. I've just had more energy to make things happen, instead of feeling lethargic, feeling depressed, feeling like, fuck me, man, what am I doing with my life, like what's
Yeah.
going on? And woo, inner child, inner child, inner child. Me and little Kelly, we getting. she's not as mad at me anymore. Like she's like, okay, bitch, you finally stepping up your game. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that trust there, little Kelly, I'm developing trust within myself. I could go on and on and on. I'll jump back in here, but I'll be running off at the mouth. But it has um there are a lot of takeaways for me
Right.
during this process, and even in our relationship, because like I'm very present, very aware, very grateful that that I have this really wonderful and communicative relationship with you. But for us to hold each other accountable as full-fledged
Yeah.
adults is some different shit. To hold us for us to be in this together, and our bond has grown, and we are both conscious and really aware of the fact that we chose each other and that we're here to help and develop one another. We are very clear and very aware that we are mirrors of each other, because the same bullshit you on, I be on too. Watching you go through your bullshit helps me, and I know you watching me go through my bullshit helps you. So really using that each other as a mirror and a reflection, and watching this parent child relationship expand to such like great heights. It's like really a fucking expansion. And for anybody who's on here who has kids, I would wish nothing but this for you in terms of having a relationship with your child, especially as it grows, from parent to child, teacher to student, when I know that Khadijah has taught me so much. Like, oh, even over this past year, like by example, she's taught me, through words, she's taught me, by holding me accountable, by giving me praise, she's taught me. So,
Your takeaways are amazing. That was beautiful. And yes, this has like increased the bond with our relationship, which is crazy because
didn't think it
our
could
bond
get
is
that
already
much
so tight.
better.
Yes, like we're already so tight. Like we already just been going closer and closer and closer. I would say probably from me being at Oak Grove and me being in 12th grade and going off to India or Banga, I changed when I came back to India, and I think you saw that.
Yes.
Um, and then me going off to college and kind of like growing as a person, especially my last year at Academy of Art. Our bond got even stronger. Then me moving back home, and us just having more of kind of like a face to face, consistent kind of relationship. It grew even much, and this just took that to a whole other level. And it's definitely the accountability. And Jew, I don't know if you've seen it, Jew has said that you're the best accountability partner, which made me smile. I thought that was an amazing compliment because it's not an easy thing to do, especially when you can struggle sometimes keeping yourself accountable. So it's difficult to try to keep someone else accountable as well. So that was a really great compliment. And
Yes.
I love your takeaways. That's really beautiful. And I guess I'll just talk about my takeaways. My takeaways from the course was that if I don't get the relationship with myself in order, nothing I do is going to work. It doesn't matter how talented I am at fine art. It doesn't matter how great my music is. It doesn't matter what I produce, how good I get in technical skill. It doesn't matter how much money I have to get all these supplies. I could get the best world renowned notebooks and supplies and all of that and the best software. Nothing from real value is going to come from it if I don't heal what's going on in here, and I don't heal the brokenness. I don't heal the relationship with my inner child. All of that needs to be worked out. And then you need to be aligned before you go and create things. Like, and aligned doesn't mean you have to feel the most inspired and the most good. Like sometimes I'm in a shit mood when I start a project, and sometimes I have doubts, and I'm like, I don't even know if this is gonna work out, But it's more like knowing why you're doing it, being aligned with the reason why you're even making this piece of art, or even starting writing, or even making a song to begin with. Why are you doing this? And being aligned with your voice, which your voice comes from inside, you know, like, and you got to heal that inner child to get access to your artistic voice and your creative voice, or even just your voice in the world in general, even if you aren't doing anything creative or artistic. Like, what's your voice? What's your values? What business do you stand on? And
Yeah.
being aligned with that. Because being misaligned, like, just creates so much chaos, and it's just like, it just creates emptiness as well. Emptiness in the projects that you're doing, emptiness in yourself. So that was one takeaway for me. Another big takeaway was to stop identifying so much with my art. Like, I was really over identifying with my art before, and I was like, my art is, it has to speak 100% to who I am. Like, it absolutely has to. Like, and I was just identifying with how well my art was doing. So it's like, if my art, if I posted it and it didn't get any likes, I would feel worthless. I would feel like I lacked value, because I was just over identifying with everything. It really got me to realize that the art we create is just an expression of our current circumstances. Like, it can't be a full picture of who you are, because you're changing every single day and you're
Every moment
evolving every single day.
evolving.
Can you repeat
And
that? Can you repeat that?
I said,
I couldn't hear you.
oh, I said every single moment.
Yes, every single moment you're changing. You know what I mean? So the art isn't always going to be a complete reflection of the full picture. It's just a reflection of what you're going through right now in that moment. And it's okay to not over identify with it, because what'll happen is you'll be like this one, throwing away art that you made when you were 13 or 14 years old, because a year later, a month later, you feel differently, and now you feel shame, because it's like, I don't recognize that, you know? So I want to throw that away because I don't relate with it, or I don't identify with it personally. So now you're destroying your own expression. And it's bringing you shame because you're over identifying with it. Let that go. So that was another takeaway I took from it. And I think the most important takeaway was that you don't have to be in a great mood to create. And a lot of times you'll be in a shit mood. And I realized that with the morning pages. Like, I go to the pages because I'm obligated to, because I absolutely want to. So even on mornings where I'm like, dang, I just wish I could just lay in bed. I wish I could cuddle with my partner. I wish I could just be on my phone scrolling. I wish I could sleep in some more, because doing the morning pages, it's 3 pages. So depending on how big your notebook is, and when it's this big, so 3 pages this big, it's going to take a minute to do them. It's going to take time. Like, and time is something you're going to have to dedicate, like, to something you love. You say you love it and you love doing it. You got to find the time to dedicate. So I have to get up earlier. If I have to take my partner to work and she got to be at work at 8 p.m., I got to wake up an hour earlier, 40 minutes earlier than she even has to wake up for the shift, in order to do these pages and make sure they're done. The day grandma passed away, you called me at like 4 in the morning and was like, you got to come to LA. Okay, the soonest flight I see is like at like 8, I think, or maybe it was 9 or 10. I only had like an hour of sleep I could get in, and then I'm like, I gotta do these morning pages at 5, 6 in the morning, feeling like I wanna vomit because I'm so stressed and scared, and I don't know what I'm about to fly into. I'm terrified, like, but all because I'm feeling this way does not mean that I shouldn't take the step forward to do what I'm aligned with what I know I want to do. And now I can go back to that journal, you know, now that's something, that a moment in time where I could revisit and continuously learn from over and over again. Um, One more takeaway. Archiving is so important. Like, being able to go back and look in the past and see markers will help you in the present to measure your growth. And sometimes we have to be able to measure our growth because people like, mom, people like you and me will discredit like how far we've come, and we won't even realize it. Like we won't we won't be grateful for it or even see it. So it feels like we're not growing because there's no unit of measurement. But to be able to look back and see in journals, like, damn, I was struggling with this still. Like, I've grown now. And I think in my process group, I did like exercises. So the first year we did the artist way, there was exercises that come with the chapter that you have to do. So I'm redoing a lot of the same exercises. And one is about time management. And it's like how long, like what have you done in the day? How long have you spent in terms of hours or minutes doing each thing? What takes up most of your time? Things you think you should be
Yeah.
doing, things you feel like you should be doing for others, or things you really want to do.
Right. Oh
And
my
in 2022 I was
God.
like, yeah, most of my time is doing things for other
For other
people or doing things I
people.
don't want to do. In 2024 that answer was different. I was like, dang, I made music today. I was working on my music placement paperwork and doing all that, and then I was working on my TikTok, and I was working on getting these images together for this article that's being written up about my fine art. Like, oh shit, actually a lot of my time today has been spent doing things for me. And to be able to see that growth because you're intentionally archiving it, it's almost like looking out for your future self, like your past self looking out for your future self. So yeah, those are the takeaways that I have for the course.
Uh,
I guess we can move on to the
wait,
next.
because I gotta go back to takeaways because there's a lot, but you mentioned some things and I gotta come back. So making myself a fucking priority, that's a big takeaway because look, doing those artist dates where you have to spend time with yourself, by yourself, and just take the time to make yourself a priority, like whoa, like that has been a really really big takeaway from me, seeing how I don't make myself a priority and then like taking action to make myself a priority and to give myself credit because we'll do our check-ins. Oh, did you do this? No, I didn't do that. Wait, oh yes I
Yes, I
did,
did.
yes I did. Oh well, did you do this? Nah, I didn't do that. Wait, yes I did do that. So
Mhm.
completely fucking forgetting shit that I've actually done, actions that I've taken. So acknowledgement. I am so much more now acknowledging myself um since doing the course. So that's a huge takeaway. Giving myself credit, making myself a priority. Cause just like you, I was doing things I didn't want to do, doing things for other people, and all of the things that I want to do for me just not being done and not being done at all. And also play,
Yes.
because like the artist date is part of like play, you get to play. And in some of the exercises, it's about like playing and connecting with your inner child. I saw, Jaleene, your comment about you've been telling people about the inner child. Yes, healing that inner child, because all of our grown-up shit comes from childhood traumas, or at least the majority of them. So yeah, healing that inner child is extremely important in keeping a sense of play as an adult. Like, we take this shit way too seriously. My grandbabies are helping me with that, with play, and then just playing how I like to play as an adult. And getting in tune with that, because you so I have been so serious, and shit just happening. Tanya, yes, my mom passed away. So with that, and let me tell you this: had I not had we not been doing the artist way and continuing on, and my mom had passed, it would have been a very fucking different road for me. Um, it just would have been much darker. I would have been in a much a really darker place. So doing the artist way, that's another big fucking takeaway. It really allowed me to to grieve, but not to grieve in the light as opposed to grieve in the dark, and being in darkness and grieving. Grieving is grieving, and it's a wonderful emotion, because we grieve because we fucking love somebody, or we grieve because we have guilt and shame and all this other kind of stuff. But But yeah, so that's another takeaway. Yeah. The priority to giving myself credit, the playing and the shifting. And Sheree Nakai, I see you on here, and fucking being, doing, and having, be, do, have. Like, the artist way has really put that in fucking focus for me, where it is like I am really, really, really giving my time, my energy, my attention to being. How am I being? That's why I do the I am shit. I don't have my necklace on today, but that's I'm exploring that in a totally different way, because you gotta, the doing flows from how you're being and what you're gonna have. And I know that no matter what it is that I want to have, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's that job, whatever, I want to be deeply satisfied and outrageously fulfilled. So how do I need to be? What do I need to feel in order to get that? So that's another takeaway that I've gotten over this whole process. And I'm glad that you're getting this, Tanya. I see you when I so needed this. I'm glad that you're
Yes.
getting this.
Yes, thank you, Tanya, for your comments. Thank you, Sheree, for being here. Ajua,
Sure.
Janine, I seen you come in. I don't know if you're still here yet. Jasmine, yes, thank you, everybody. And sorry if I didn't mention your name. Thank you so much, Dad. Thank you so much for being here with us and sharing this process with us. We really appreciate it.
Very much
I'm going to
so.
move on to the next question. How do you use the book to enhance your relationship with your inner child? And we touched on this a little bit, but I would just like to revisit that.
I mean, just again, making myself a priority, and the play aspect, because I was talking to somebody else about it, an artist day. I was like, oh yeah, I need to do an artist day, and it has to just be me and blah blah blah. And they were asking me questions, and they were like, oh well, I don't know if I would want to go and do anything by myself. That seems boring. And I was like, I guess it could be if you just have to have someone else. And now having people to reflect and give you feedback and to share experiences with is great. But let me tell you, nigga, ain't nothing like being able to be alone with your motherfucking
Ooh,
self. Okay.
yes, absolutely.
So, and and yourself in all of the versions, I'm reaching up for self actualization and tapping into my higher self, but also that self that is that inner child, that child that already knows that I'm fucking phenomenal, already knows that that imagination and play is the most important thing that we can bring to this fucking reality, to this dimension, to this plane, to this world. I mean, think about how many beautiful things we have because people brought their imagination and their play to it. I mean, yeah, hard work counts too, but imagination and fucking play, and and being able to tap into that. So I am so grateful that that I am having this inner relationship with self, and that it's expanding and it's growing and it's developing and it's doing all of these things.
I feel the same exact way. Play is such an important word to me because I realized that I've denied myself a lot of play for a really long time. Because just feeling like as a child I was too silly. I was too in the clouds. I was too self-absorbed. So I had to be more serious and dull my play down and not see everything as play and get real and get more practical. And kind of like the rigorous training that I went through at art school kind of solidified that even more. So I thought, well, this is just the real adult world, and I have to kind of deny myself play in order to be the responsible adult that I feel like I need to be. But taking this course has just made me realize, like, dang, you really hate yourself. And which is funny to say, but I think even in the middle of the course, I had done some plant medicine. I'm just going to keep it like that. I did some plant medicine And I just remember just sitting there, just crying, just crying, just crying because I was at the pool and I just was realizing what kind of thoughts I had just because other people entered the vicinity and how just negative those thoughts were. And it's like, why are you just so pressed? And it was just because like you really don't like yourself, like you really hate yourself in this moment, and you have for a minute, and it's causing you to be really bitter and really negative and really fearful of other people and how they perceive you, because I'm terrified that someone will perceive me like I perceive myself. um yeah. So yeah, I realize that I have to heal this wound. I have to get back to being aligned with the emo teenager that I was, being aligned with the hyperactive, talkative theater kid that I was, being aligned with wanting to be a musician. I had to redo that whole thing because I tossed out not wanting to be in music because it's like, oh, I'm not attractive enough and I can't sing well enough, and so I can't possibly do music. And I had to heal that I took on as a child, and just get my inner self back. So the book helped me do this through a lot of the exercises, through morning pages, and just being really honest with the pages too. So on days where I was feeling low and I was feeling it, the pages would be like, "You ain't shit." Your girl saying you low effort, you are. You're
You
not
are.
doing enough. You're not doing fucking enough. You're not like I'm tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of you making excuses. I'm tired of you being fearful. I'm tired of you wasting your life watching other people do the things you want to do. Like it's just complete bullshit and I'm through with it and I can't fucking stand you right now, and just really going off on myself. And being able to read that and see how like it comes from a really hurt place, and healing that, and then taking on other voices in the pages too. Like it's like kind of the motherly nurturing voice that's like, you got this, baby, like I love
I
you.
love
We're here for you. All these people are supporting you. Alejandra, this person, Tyler, Daph, you got all these people, and we're all here, and we all want to give you a hug, and you should embrace that. And then it's the voice of the critic that's like, I don't give a fuck. You ain't doing what the fuck you supposed to be doing, and that's why your life is shit
That's
right
why you're
now. Okay?
fucking shit right
Like,
now.
and have
Okay.
no problem going deep into just cutting myself, you know? Like, and then switching it up and kind of embodying that nurturing side of myself, and then coming to the middle where I could acknowledge, you know what, maybe I'm not doing the most that I can be doing, but I'm going to give myself grace, and I'm going to choose to give myself grace today. Because that's all I can do, you know, is acknowledge, but not beat myself up about it. And I think that's really helped me heal my inner child, is the urge to want to beat myself up and clonk my younger self up over the head. And it's like, no, we're not going to be in an abusive relationship. We can acknowledge what's not working, but you don't have to abuse yourself. Like,
Look,
and just realizing how much I go from one extreme to the other and just finding the middle a little bit more. So that's been how I use the book to get in touch with my inner self and my inner child and heal that relationship.
look, you said some
Y'all,
things.
we getting real vulnerable here.
Yeah, you said some things because look, a bitch was mad at herself. I was so mad and so upset, and I could see it like in my playing out in my outer world, like getting real upset driving, having fucking, like all these thoughts and being upset with other people, and then like knowing I'm not really mad at them. I'm mad at my motherfucking self. And
Mm-hmm.
every time some shit would go wrong, I'd be like, "That's because you ain't on your shit. You gotta get your shit together. Get your shit together. You wouldn't have these problems. Like."
Absolutely.
And my inner child is like, bitch, you what? You 52 and you still doing this? You still wait, what? Like, and just in the corner, like, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I don't want to have anything to fucking do with you because like you are just on some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had I accepted that about myself. Full accountability, full responsibility, but I was being really mean. I wasn't even giving myself things that I love. I wasn't even allowing myself to feel good about a whole bunch of things, especially about myself, because I guess I was on some punishment shit. We're gonna mete out consequences, young lady. you know and so you said you hate yourself. I was a bitch to myself. I was really being a bitch to myself and really being a bitch to little Kelly. So she's just over there chilling. I'm like, just. And I'm so glad that I got grandbabies now, because we use the word gentle a lot. Be gentle, be gentle. I was like, bitch, why don't you be gentle with yourself?
Yes. Yes.
So yes, it's okay to be like, yes, we want to